Today we will study about fertilization in humans. In the previous video, we had discussed about gametogenesis, and under gametogenesis we had studied about spermatogenesis and oogenesis. The gametes so produced in male as well as in case of females are always haploid. That is, they have always half of the number of the chromosome as compared to the parents that produce them. Now after all this, the next step is fertilization. What is fertilization? How the process of fertilization take place and how it is unique we will discuss. Now as I told you that the most important step for the formation of fetus or young one is the production of gamete. Unless the gamete get produced, it is no chance that fertilization can take place and thereby a fetus or young one can develop. The process of fertilization is vary in different organisms. We will discuss it later on. The most important point is the fertilization is always species specific. That is, individual of the same species can produce a new young one. If anyhow the fertilization take place between the two different species, the organisms so produced can never be fertile. However, the fertile organism can only be produced when the fertilization take place within the species. Now, what is fertilization? Fertilization involves the fusion of sperm with the ovum so that the two haploid set of the chromosome come close together and give rise to a diploid zygote. For the purpose of fertilization, the two things that matter a lot is accessibility of sperm to reach the ovum and fusion of two haploid nuclei to form zygote, and the process is called as amphimixis. So fertilization is all about combination of genetic material and activation of ovum to form zygote. Now we will discuss about requirement for the purpose of fertilization. A requirement of gamete is obviously we have discussed already. The next requirement is fluid medium. Fluid medium is essential for the purpose of fertilization, and this medium can be provided by body in case of internal fertilization or aquatic medium in case of external fertilization. This aquatic medium can be fresh water, for example, a river, lake, stream, or it can be marine. And what are the different examples of marine? Sea, ocean. Fluid medium help in the mobility of the sperm as well as in the survival of both sperm as well as ovum. Now we will discuss about encounter of gamete. That is the first step in case of fertilization. It is a process of bringing together the ova and the spermatozoa. Depending upon the nature of fluid media, two types of fertilization has been reported. Number one is external fertilization and number two is internal fertilization. I have shown both types of fertilization in the form of figure. On the right side there is external fertilization where both male as well as female fishes releasing sperm as well as ova in the water body. So both the gamete fuse together outside the body. This type of fertilization is called as external fertilization. On the left side there is internal fertilization where the sperm is released in the uterus of the female and the eggs are released by the ovary also enter into the uterus and the fertilization take place within the uterus. To the sperm reach to the ovum, two theory has been put forward. One is chemotaxis theory given by R.L. Miller, according to which the chorion of the ovum produce a chemical which is recognized by the sperm so that it can reach to the ovum. And another is fertilization, anti-fertilization theory given by F.R. Lilly, according to which egg has a receptor site called as fertilization, whereas the sperm has a receptor site called as anti-fertilization, thereby resulting agglutination of sperm and ovum and is called as fertilization anti-fertilization complex. The presence of fertilization and anti-fertilization is just like lock and key. That is why the fertilization is always or mostly species specific. Third step is capacitation. The sperm which is present in the testis cannot fertilize the ovum as such because it is always rich in cholesterol. Secondly, the enzyme glycoside transferase is always in masked form. It is always covered. During the process of capacitation, the excessive cholesterol gets removed and the masked enzyme glycoside transferase then get unmasked. The process of capacitation is carried out in the body of the female in case of internal fertilization, and as it come in contact with corona radiata of the ovum, it get capacitated in case of external fertilization. After the capacitation, the sperm is ready or it has the ability to fertilize the egg. Now the next step is penetration. In case of fishes, acrosome is absent, so there is direct entry of sperm into the egg. However, in case of internal fertilization or in case of mammal, the ovum is always covered by primary, secondary and tertiary layer. The most important layer is corona radiata and zona pellucida. The sperm cannot penetrate into the egg without breaking these layers, and the breakdown of this layer is possible only due to the presence of acrosome, because the acrosome contains an enzyme called as hyaluronidase and acrosomine that we have discussed in the structure of the sperm. The hyaluronidase enzyme break down the hyaluronic acid, which is the cementing material between the cells of corona radiata, and therefore it helps in the penetration of sperm so as to reach into the ovum. In mammal, the enzyme dissolves the corona radiata as well as zona pellucida. The plasma membrane of the sperm then fuse together with the plasma membrane of the ovum. Surprisingly, the cytoplasm of the ovum rises up and it forms cytoplasmic cone so as to pull the nucleus and proximal centriole into the ovum. This has been shown in the figure. In the figure 1, sperm is just reached to the ovum, then it penetrating the layer and reach the ovum plasma membrane. The plasma membrane of sperm and ovum fuse and the cytoplasm rises up to give rise to the cytoplasmic cone. After the fusion of the sperm and entry of the nucleus as well as proximal centriole into the ovum, the next step is activation of ovum. Now, what is activation of ovum? Basically, the activation of ovum involves block or prevention of polyspermy and change in the metabolic activity of the ovum. Number 1 is block or prevention of polyspermy. Now, what is polyspermy? Why we need to block it or prevent the process of polyspermy? We will discuss one by one. Now, first of all, polyspermy and its type. Polyspermy means entry of more than one sperm into ovum for its fertilization. As we know that for the formation of zygote, we require only one sperm and one ovum because both contain haploid nucleus, and the fusion of these haploid nucleus resulting in the formation of diploid zygote. If anywho more than one sperm get fused with the ovum, anywho which is not feasible at all, then this lead to increase in the ploidy level from diploid to triploid, tetraploid, etc. In order to prevent this anomaly, there are two blocks. Number 1 is fast block polyspermy and another is slow block polyspermy. Fast block polyspermy we are going to discuss first. The fast block polyspermy is as the first sperm entered into the ovum and it donates its nucleus as well as proximal centriole to the ovum, the electric potential of the sperm abruptly get changed. It gets changed its electric potential from minus 70 microvolt to 0 or even positive plus 20. Due to the change in or abrupt change in electric potential, the ability of the ovum to fuse with the sperm get lost. So after the entry of first sperm, the other sperm if try to attach with the ovum, they will not able to do so because the ovum lose its ability to fuse with the sperm. Now, slow block to polyspermy. In case of slow block, the main event or the main role is played by cortical granules. The cortical granules, which contain proteolytic enzyme and mucopolysaccharide, they are present in the periphery of the cytoplasm within the ovum. Within 20th second of entry of the sperm into the ovum initiate cortical reaction. During cortical reaction, the cortical granule fuse with the plasma membrane of the ovum and release protease enzyme that delink the protein linking to the plasma membrane to vitelline membrane or zona pellucida, and the mucopolysaccharide cause osmotic rush of water into the space between them. The vitelline membrane thus rises up and an anti-fertilizing layer is formed. Now this is a figure which is showing how the process of cortical reaction or slow block polyspermy take place. As the sperm entered into the ovum, the cortical granules, which in the figure showing lies in the periphery of the cytoplasm, started fusing with the plasma membrane of the ovum and release its enzyme in the space between the vitelline membrane and plasma membrane. This enzyme pushes the vitelline membrane toward outside and also create a new layer called as anti-fertilizing layer between the two. And this layer get hardened by an enzyme which is called as peroxidase enzyme. So the two components which play an important role is mucopolysaccharide that cause creation of the layer, that is anti-fertilizing layer, and peroxidase enzyme that cause hardening of this layer. The next step is amphimixis. Amphimixis simply means fusion of male and female nucleus. The site of amphimixis vary with the type of egg. That is, it occurs near the center of microlecithal and mesolecithal egg, or in the center of active cytoplasm at the animal pole of macrolecithal and telolecithal eggs. As the sperm pronucleus and centriole move inward, it may be accompanied by some cortical and subcortical cytoplasm. Now, I have used the term microlecithal, mesolecithal, and macrolecithal and telolecithal type of egg. Microlecithal means having lessened yolk, mesolecithal means moderate yolk, telolecithal means yolk which is quite abundant and present on one pole, and macrolecithal means abundant of yolk present in the cytoplasm of the ovum. Now, second step of activation of ovum is metabolic activation. Metabolic activation involves change in plasma membrane. The plasma membrane becomes more permeable to water and certain other chemicals like ethylene, glycol, phosphate, potassium, etc. This change is governed by unequal distribution of chloride. Second is ionic change. It is an intracellular change in the concentration of cation, for example sodium, potassium and calcium. Then change in rate of respiration, that is increase for example sea urchin, decrease in case of Chaetopteris, or remain as such in case Bufo and Fundulus. Then change the rate of protein synthesis. After the entry of sperm and the process of fertilization, there is a brief rise or increase in the synthesis of protein by the ovum. Then it is followed by initiation of mitosis. Mitosis means equational division. Now the zygote keep on dividing to produce a number of cells that act as a raw material for the formation of fetus that ultimately develop into new young one. It is surprising that unlike the other organism, in case of human being, the ovum lack one centriole, and this centriole is always provided by the sperm. Now, students, we have discussed in detail account the process of fertilization. Whatever concept you are lacking about, or whatever you want to ask a question, you can ask freely by commenting or personally calling me or sending me message on WhatsApp. Thank you. It's your duty now. Go through the PPT slides which is in the form of video. Listen carefully whatever I have discussed in this video and pen down. Write each and every concept, each and every term on your notebook. Best of luck for this proper topic.